Kevin Duke was a single parent who worked hard to provide for his daughter, Louisiana. He worked as a local handyman, and every dollar he earned, he put towards his beloved daughter. So when this devoted dad surprised his daughter with a generous gesture, he had no idea it would turn into uncovering something truly unimaginable. But hey, before we dive into the story, do yourself a favor and pause the video right now. Go hit that like button, and let's see if we can make this video reach 1,000 likes. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to your favorite story channel. Also, make sure to ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest and weirdest stories. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming your way. Now sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed as we take you on an unforgettable ride. Don't forget to engage with us in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Kevin decided to pull out all the stops for his daughter's 16th birthday. Not only did he get her a fantastic birthday cake, but he was also going to surprise her by buying her a second-hand car. After a few days of searching for the best car with the best deal, Kevin finally found the perfect one, or so he thought. Kevin stood in front of the car and debated what to do. He could see that the salesman was on the edge, eager for a sale. After a few minutes, Kevin finally made a decision. He shook the salesman's hand and loudly proclaimed, "I'll take it." He was handed the keys and drove the car back home, all the while not knowing something was merely a few feet away from him. On the way back home, Kevin realized he had a problem. He had to hide the car until his daughter's birthday, which was in a few days' time. The garage was the only place he could hide it, but it was a mess. He quickly scolded himself for not cleaning out the garage before he left to collect the car. A plan quickly formed in his mind. His daughter would be coming home from school any minute, so Kevin parked the car a couple of blocks down and immediately got to work cleaning out the garage to make space for the car. He ran back to the car and drove it into his new hiding place. She wouldn't suspect a thing. But then again, neither did he. The morning of his daughter's birthday came, and Kevin woke up early to prepare a big surprise for her. He made himself some coffee and strolled out to the garage, but he noticed a strange smell in the garage. He didn't think much of it and set to work. He quickly opened the door, released the handbrake, and gently pushed the car out of the garage to avoid suspicion. He closed the door and tied a ribbon to its bonnet. Kevin thought it was going to be a perfect day, but he was so wrong. Louisiana ran outside, and to her delight, she saw a car with a ribbon tied around it. Kevin said, "It's yours." Louisiana's face lit up with joy. She was over the moon at her new car. She raced over, opened the door, and hopped inside. But then suddenly, Kevin watched his daughter's smile turn upside down. "What's wrong?" Kevin asked. "It smells." "Can you smell it?" Louisiana replied, her lips pouting. Kevin poked his head into the car properly this time, and straight away he retched in disgust. He held his nostrils while his daughter scrambled out and slammed the door shut. The father and daughter duo had no idea what they were about to uncover. Kevin climbed inside the car and looked around to try and find something that looked unusual. But everything was as it was when he left it a few days prior after picking it up. It looked brand new. He looked under the seat, but there was nothing there. He followed the foul smell and reached for the dashboard. As soon as he opened it, he was at a loss for words. Kevin pulled a lever and opened the glove box. Immediately, the smell became 10 times worse. He buried his nose in his arms as he choked, but what he saw surprised him. There was nothing that looked grotesque, but there was something that looked unusual. Sitting in the glove box was a protective rubber mat that was hiding something underneath. Kevin took a deep breath before he pulled the mat out. But the second he did, he saw a letter fall out. Confused, Kevin left the mat and picked it up. He turned over the envelope and a shiver ran up his spine. In black ink with dainty handwriting, Kevin read who the envelope was addressed to. It read, "New car owner, important info inside." He hadn't thought that the letter had something to do with the awful, rotting smell in the car. While he opened it, he wondered if this was all some kind of elaborate prank. He imagined the pranksters taking a picture of himself with his work, laughing at his daughter's expense. He began to feel angry, but he had no idea that his theory was way off. The letter started by saying, "To the person who gets this car, you have got a very special vehicle. This car holds a lot of memories for me. I hope it's the best car you've ever had." Kevin continued to read, and with each line of the text he read, his heart gushed with emotions. This letter was heartbreaking. Kevin found out that this letter was from a woman called Sabrina Archie. Unfortunately, her mom, daughter, and aunt passed away in a house fire. As Kevin continued to read the letter, he could feel a lump in his throat, and his eyes started to well up. His daughter, who was also reading the letter from behind, consoled her dad. He felt awful that he had first thought so badly of whoever was behind the letter. He also felt bad for buying something that meant so much to somebody else when he was riddled with guilt. But he was also no closer to understanding why the car smelled so bad. There was another surprise in store. Unable to stand the smell for much longer, he stepped out of the car when he finished reading. He looked to the black rubber mat that he had discarded earlier. The woman in the letter had mentioned that she left them for someone else to enjoy because she couldn't bear to throw them out with the worry and grief-stricken face. Kevin lifted the black rubber mat. When he saw what was underneath, his eyes welled not just from the awful smell, but also out of sadness. There, hidden beneath the mat in the glove box, was the culprit of the smell. Without the letter, it probably would have taken him a while to figure out what they were. They had grown discolored and leaked into the bottom of the glove box. His daughter gasped. The woman in the letter referred to them as her daughter's favorite snacks. She didn't have the heart to remove them. They were tubes of banana-flavored yogurt, one of which must have burst in the heat of the garage. They must have stayed cool enough when the car was outside of the dealership, thus not causing any smell. When Kevin posted this story online, many people from all over the world got in touch and donated money for her to get back her old car. Incredibly, Sabrina managed to do just that. Sabrina received thousands of dollars, which meant she could finally buy back her old car. But what about Kevin? Kevin was also looking forward to the future. Sabrina bought back her car from Kevin, which meant that he could buy his daughter another car just like it. However, this time it wasn't much of a surprise. Louise didn't care. The new car was more than enough for his daughter, and she was even more proud and inspired that he gave the other car back to its heartbroken owner.